Hello and welcome to Boosting You, the ultimate wellness platform. I'm Dr. Sue Peacock.
And I'm Shirley McLean. Sue, can we talk about this whole work-life balance thing today? Because it's a common phrase. However, I think sometimes we're setting people up for failure with that phrase.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I totally agree with you. I think that idea of that perfect balance is really quite toxic, to be honest, because life isn't a seesaw. That stays perfectly level. It just doesn't, does it?
Exactly, because some days work needs more attention. Some days family does. Some days you need to just prioritize your health. It's more like a dance, isn't it, than a balance beam. And the understanding that we can't be all things to everyone all the time as well. So, I know that I can't be a good mum, a good wife, a good hypnotherapist, etc. I can't be all of them all of the time.
I really like that analogy of a dance rather than a balance beam. But yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable to say, I prefer talking about work-life integration. How do we create boundaries that flex but don't break? How do we honor those different domains in our life without guilt?
Yeah. And boundaries aren't walls either, are they? They're more like garden gates. Sometimes they're wide open, sometimes they're closed, and it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What I see in my practice quite often is people kind of exhausting themselves trying to be perfectly balanced every single day. And then, they're feeling like failures when real life happens.
Yeah, the guilt cycle, it's just so damaging. I should be working harder than, I should be more present with my family then. I should take better care of myself. It's just non-stop, isn't it? And really, it's a bit like how we've been conditioned to think, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I always tell people to banish the word should because it puts too much pressure on us. But I also teach people to think in like seasons rather than days almost. Maybe this month is a work heavy season, but next month we prioritize rest and relationships perhaps.
Yeah, and that's a good analogy of it, isn't it? Sometimes you need to have comfortable conversations like, with maybe your boss about realistic deadlines, or with the family about needing support, with yourself about your limits, even.
Yeah, we all need those uncomfortable conversations, don't we? And I think, boundaries are really kind of acts of love for ourselves and for others, aren't they? When we're clear about our limits, everyone else knows what to expect from us.
And here's something practical. I encourage people to have transition rituals. So something that marks the end of like work time and the beginning of personal time, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah, yeah, that's brilliant. I do the same thing. I encourage people to, take their jacket off from work or whatever, or go for a walk around the block, or listen to their favorite song, or read a chapter of a book, or just even three deep breaths. It doesn't matter. The brain needs these signals to sort of switch off from work to home.
Yeah, because the goal isn't perfection, is it? It's sustainability. How can you show up authentically in all areas of your life without burning out?
And remember, saying no to one thing means that you're saying yes to something else. And every boundary is actually a choice, isn't it? It's a choice about what matters to you right now at this moment in time.
Yeah, because it's, that work-life balance sometimes it's a myth, isn't it? That work-life integration with healthy boundaries is a goal. And I think that it's a really good place for us maybe to round up that boost.
Yeah, I think.
So till next time, it's bye from me.
And so remember, our brain needs those signals. So play with those signals for yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye from me.
Bye.